Welcome, Anne.
Hiya.
This is Anne Nola Harris is my business partner. My name is Shane O'Donnell. We have a company called keepchanginglanes.com, and our job is to help people go from where they are to their next level and continue to do that over and over, manifest endless growth. The one pressing idea that's been coming up for Anne over the last few weeks is our thoughts become things. Why is that important, Anne?
I've known this for a really long time, and it's just becoming so aware to me when I'm listening to people or interacting with our clients that they really don't understand that what they're thinking and what they're saying has an energy, and they are sending that energy out, and then it manifests, and then they say to themselves, how did that happen? Or, why did that happen to me? And everything that happens to us is because of the internal dialogue that we're having with ourselves, and we are creating our reality. So the way that it works is when we have a thought, the energy is building, the neural pathways in our mind are being created, and there's millions and millions of them, and they're just always, they zap like this. And when the thought comes in, it's got an energy and it zaps and it goes to the correct neural pathway where it needs to go to based on the vibration of that thought. And then it sends it into the subconscious mind. Now, when the energy keeps building and the person keeps having the same thoughts over and over again, the energy keeps building and it'll get to a certain point and then it manifests. So we actually bring it back into our lives. So anything that we've said in the past or the present, or even thinking about the future, those thoughts are still sent out. They're manifesting somewhere, and it depends on how much energy you have.
It's like you're sending out a signal. Is that right?
Yeah. And so what happens is you can actually, when you really understand this, you can look at people and you can know what they're thinking because of what they're actually creating in their lives. So if they're, for instance, they keep having problems at work with staff, or they always miss out on the promotion that they're hoping to get, it's because of what's going on internally and what they're thinking and is what they're manifesting. So it's what people tend to do is blame other people. The easiest thing that they do is blame other people. It's their fault, or they're a silly boss, or they're a rubbish leader, or whatever it is. They start to tell themselves to try and make themselves feel better. But what's really going on is that they're not doing the deep inner work that's needed to clear whatever is causing those thoughts that they're having. And most of the time they're subconscious thoughts, so they don't even know that they're having them.
They don't even know.
Yeah. And then they're actually manifesting the results that they don't want. So once we do the inner work, everything changes.
What you're saying, Tolstoy, he said years and years ago, he's quite a wise guy, he said that everyone wants to change the world, but no one's prepared to change themselves. That says everything, actually. And this whole idea of blame is such a powerful thing. You brought that up, that when people don't understand what's happening in their life, they tend to blame someone else. They want to blame someone else so they can feel better. The problem with blaming in the blame game is when you play that, you stay stuck where you are. Nothing changes until you decide to change.
Of blame, and that energy is going out. You're sending judgment energy out. It's going to be coming back.
Right. Okay, so that's the power of blame, is you're judging other people. And there's a difference between judging, I suppose, and this whole discernment. You can discern, I don't need to be around people like that because they're not lifting me up. They're actually bringing me down. It's not judging them. That's a different energy. But when we blame people for where we are, you're saying that's not the right energy to be in.
No, because it doesn't help anyone.
No.
And especially yourself.
Yeah. So in terms of these thoughts that we have, in fact, they could be considered like a spiritual seed. And as we we nourish that seed. If it's a negative seed, like Earl Nightingale said that years ago, he said you can plant a good tree, a fruit tree seed in the ground, and it'll grow into bear and apple, or you can plant deadly nightshade. Both will grow in your subconscious mind. And when we feed it, whatever we feed will and nurture, that's what's going to grow. So when we are, and our default system is negative, that's our protection system, that's how we're wired. When we recognize it and we start to play the game differently, then we get different results. So how do we rewire, Anne?
One of the easiest and quickest ways to rewire, first of all, you have to become aware that you're having those thoughts. And most people are asleep and don't realize that they're even having the thoughts, but they keep manifesting the same results. So that if you're manifesting the same results, you know that there's something going on internally with what you're thinking, because it's creating it. But there's two things that you can do. The first one is to really bring yourself back into the present moment, okay? Because in the present moment, we're safe, we have everything that we need, we're breathing, we're, you know, everything's okay. And you can be in the present moment by even feeling your footsteps as you walk on the floor. Or if you're washing your hands, actually feel the water touching your skin, you know, and the soap, and smell it. It just really brings you back into your body, because whilst you're concentrating on those things, you're not having repeated thoughts that are manifesting unwanted results. The other thing you can do, if you're having one of those days where your mind is just really strong and it wants to take you down negative Nelly's pathway for the day, you know, then what you can do is you can just talk to yourself internally about everything that you're seeing, right? So even if you're in your own home, it's like, I can see the painting on the wall, or I see the skirting boards, or you're just talking to yourself really mundane things about what you're seeing around you. And again, it brings you back into the present moment. And whilst your brain is occupied doing that, it's not able to go down the wrong pathway.
So you're saying what you're saying really is, and I heard this the other day, and I really liked it. I was talking to my wife about it, is this whole concept of grounding yourself. So you're saying grounding yourself in the present moment, which is what the mind does not want. The mind wants to take you to reminisce about the past, or the failures you've had in the past, or remind you about all the bad things that you've done, or it's worried about the next thing in the future. It's never present. And so when you're saying, what you're saying is, you know, find things, mechanisms to ground yourself in the moment, and things will start to shift. Yeah,
definitely. Our brain always needs to be occupied. So if there isn't any drama going on, it will go and find it. Okay, because then it's got a problem to solve. We love solving problems. All right. And their neural pathways are just sending that information out and creating. And what happens is, when the thought is a strong one and it keeps being repeated, the neural pathway gets stronger and stronger. Like it becomes a road. It becomes a road in the mind. And the other neural pathways that are wanting to manifest good things become very placid, you know. And then you've just got that main route that's on that drive to nowhere, to the results you don't want. So we really want to work with that.
This is really cool. So we're talking about thoughts become our reality. We create our future. That we're creating it right now with our thoughts. And what you're saying for a practical tool is to slow the mind down by grounding yourself, finding methods, simple ideas that will ground yourself, and using your senses, like your eyes, you know, washing your hands and smelling the soap. That's using more than two senses, and just slowing everything down so that you can, as you say, in the moment when you're grounded, we have everything that we need. And I just think that is really great. Anne and I are going to be coming back with many more videos on simple ideas that you can implement straight away and start to shift results that you get in your life that you don't want. We all have that, because our whole business is about, this transforming your consciousness and manifesting endless growth. That's what Keep Changing Lanes is all about. It's about you're running in a certain lane right now and then going to your next level. So, Anne, thanks very much, and we look forward to the next pressing need that you want to talk about.
Thanks, Shane.